Hey guys, and welcome back to Cultured Boys, a show where two guys just want to have a chat. I'm Nathan, and as always, I'm joined by Pepe. And this week, we are reviewing another manga.
Woo! Yep, that is off the back of our reviewing all the mangas of 2023. You know what? We're like, hey, you know what? Let's review some more manga.
Yeah, because you know what? Everybody like manga.
He's right, you know. Everyone does like manga. And if you don't like manga, well, I don't know. I think you need to reconsider your life choices. Nathan, what are we reading this week?
Wow, I woke up with chose violence today.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Every day.
Today we are reading Red Cat Ramen. It's something we found when we were just sort of like scrolling around on the Manga Plus app. And it was just kind of like, what is this? Okay, cool. We don't intentionally try to look for anything that's like kind of weird and wacky, but you know, this one sort of stuck out and we're like, oh, cool. Why not?
It's a very eye-catching volume cover as well. You see the title of it. You're like Red Cat Ramen, okay, and then it's actually got cats on the front of it, and you're like, what exactly is this kind of thing? And then like, I'll let Nathan read a little blurb, which I assume is from the Jump Plus app.
Yes, it actually is. Good guess.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
I should really probably start writing down my sources in the notes. Anyway, Red Cat Ramen, created by Angyaman. How do you pronounce that? Angyaman.
Angyaman. I was not expecting. I'll tell you what, because I'd scrolled down your notes. I didn't actually see who created it, so I just sort of published it. I didn't realize you had a mangaka in there as well. That's a pen name if I ever heard one. Angyaman. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know, right? I always try and note down, you know, the mangaka or the illustrators, like
straight out the sounds like straight out the Kanikuman universe. Jeez.
You know what? I spent all week trying to figure out, like, because I'm like, how do you split it? Right? It's 8 letters: ANGYAMAN. Do you say it all at once, or do you split it so it's Angi Aman?
I'm inclined to be Ang Yaman. It's Yamanang. Nathan, please read the thing before we get any deeper into this.
Like 2 minutes on the mangaka's pen name. Published March 14th, 2022, ongoing in Jump Plus. There's actually I added this just before record. There is actually an anime of this coming in July 2024.
What? In real?
Yeah.
Okay.
So an anime has been announced. It was announced November this year, produced by Good Smile Company of all companies, famous for Nendoroids. And the animation studio is E&H Productions, from what I remember reading.
Ian Hecox from Smosh.
Yes, sure. No.
Okay, sorry.
Editor, cut that.
He's not cutting it.
Yeah, we're not cutting it. Right. God, this is the worst breakdown we've ever done.
This is so long. Why do we take it
I know,
so long?
because you keep distracting me. Anyway, meet Tamako, who's found her way into an interview at a ramen shop run solely by cats. When the feline manager asks if she likes cats, Tamako admits that she's actually more of a dog person, only to be hired on the spot. But her job description isn't quite what she expects. Rather than serving ramen, she's now a dedicated cat caretaker.
Nice one. Yeah, I mean, it sums up perfectly, especially in that first chapter. It is like...
Oh, yeah.
That literally sums up the whole of the first chapter. But it's a really, really interesting concept of a manga. And it's kind of like... How many chapters did you read off the bat, Nathan? How many did you read?
6.
I read 5.
Okay.
So... same amount basically, roughly.
I actually would have read more, but because I was reading on browser,
yeah,
you can't. The normal like, oh, you can read up to here, and then it's blocked, and then you can read the most recent chunk.
Yeah.
So it was like 1 to 6, and then like 62 onwards.
Really? Okay.
for browser. I had to. It was like I could have gone onto the app, but I had some other stuff to do.
It's one of those ones that, yeah, like it's the first 6 chapters on Manga Plus are free to read completely, so you can reread those over and over again, and then from that, yeah, you will need to just continue reading.
Yeah, but on browser they don't even allow you to like like they don't even allow you the single use read in the middle. They direct you to the app.
Straight in there, yeah, I get you. And it's worth saying there's 67 chapters out of this at the moment as well.
Yeah, again, it's still ongoing, so like it's doing pretty well. Especially again, it's also getting an anime, so
That's mad. Like 67 chapters in, getting an anime is like. I am curious at what kind of anime this is going to be, because that you get those like the anime that are like about 10 minutes long, like a really short form anime.
Yeah.
Like, because Psyche K started off like that, where it was just a really short form anime, and then it eventually like got brought out as like 30-minute episodes. I am curious whether it's gonna be that kind of thing, because this anime is like I don't know, like, well, the series anyway. It's funny. It's a like what I read, I absolutely really enjoyed.
hmm
It's just I wouldn't have imagined it getting an anime. That's my first thing.
So here's my theory for what the anime is gonna look like.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon it's gonna be like Away of the House Husband, where it's like
Yeah.
several, maybe 2 or 3 chapters like into one like compilation kind of episode. Like an episode is like several stories, because it's not like the anime doesn't. I mean, like the source material is quite short. Like I
Yeah.
got through chapters really quickly, so it's kind of like it's not that the chapters are bad, and it's not that the manga is bad.
No.
It's just like it really is kind of those like short story, quick burst kind of things, like,
Yeah.
oh, here's the day, this is what happens, problem solved.
Yeah.
It does really fit, like you said, like those sort of like 10-minute segments, like
Mm.
again, that's why I think like Where the House Husband, where it's just going to be like, because it felt like exactly like that.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the thing, here's what happened, next thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is very much a story of the week kind of thing as well. It's worth saying that, because this is like borderlining on like a kind of like slice of life kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like where it's just this well, Tamako getting a job in a ramen restaurant that's filled with cats, and like it's interesting to see the concepts of it, because it is just it's like they all operate it like it would be a normal restaurant, and it's just, oh, we're cats, and it's like, oh, that's the selling point of this.
Yeah.
Like, come and see these cats operate a restaurant.
Yeah, it's weird like that, because each character is also like, if you took away the element of them being cats, you'd be like, oh, they're just also like normal personalities, because it's like each one has their own job.
Yeah.
Each one has their own personality, but then there's just the extra layer that, oh, they're cats.
It is, yeah, and
not in a lame way of literally like, oh, we wrote normal characters and then now we made them cats. They really do still act like cats and stuff, like, but it's not done in a lazy way where it's literally just like, oh, I'm the boss man, I'm a hard ass, plus I'm a cat. You know what I mean? It's not like that.
Yeah, it's weird, because it is like there'll be certain bits, like Tamako's main job when she gets there is, oh, you're gonna be brushing us all. And that's the main thing. And like then eventually she like comes out and she's like front of house staff, eventually like does dishes, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, she does all sorts of like odd jobs really in the place. Like she's just like the spare pair of hands as a part-timer.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because like some part-time jobs are like that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have like a specific like, oh, you are gonna just do this. It's like, no, you just go help out wherever someone needs you to help out. Like,
It is like worth saying as well that like although most of the staff are obviously cats, there's one that's like slightly different, still a cat in certain, I don't know, feline in some way.
oh, okay, yeah.
But obviously then there like you got like Bunzo, Hana, Sabu, Sasuke, and then you have Krishna, who is a tiger.
Yeah.
So you have all these pretty much like house cats basically, and then you have this fully like grown tiger, which is basically there to kind of be a deterrent if anyone starts kicking off a little bit.
See, but like I like the way they've done it,
Yeah.
because like Pepe is saying, Krishna, whilst being a tiger and like deterrent, quote unquote, it's not actually just their personality. Like,
It's not their job either. Yeah.
yeah, the first time you see him, it's like, oh my god, there's a tiger, and then like they actually like talk.
Yeah.
And it turns out Krishna is very shy, is very timid, and is also the noodle chef. As in, like, they make the handmade noodles like in the back.
Like, she actually wouldn't hurt a fly either, which is hilarious
Yeah.
because, like, people see, like, I think it's in the first chapter where this guy starts kicking off there's cat hair in his food or whatever.
Yeah.
Even though there is a sign that blatantly says, please excuse it, like, there might be the off chance there might be cat hair.
Yeah, but like if you see the illustration, the guy is clearly like a Yakuza type. He's clearly just trying to scam them out of money.
And he's also finished most of his food as well. So he starts kicking off and he won't listen to Bonzo. So they call out Krishna. Krishna comes in and scares him off. But then literally 2 seconds later, Krishna's like, oh my God, that was so scary. Like,
Yeah.
like she's literally there to be like, this is like the front and that's it. If anything ever came down to it, she wouldn't be able to do anything.
Yeah, again, because she's timid.
Yeah.
Like, she's a gentle soul, even though she's a freaking tiger. But they don't know that, and they don't need to know that.
No.
That's the important part. You don't need to know that if you're one causing trouble. You just have to see a tiger and think, oh shit, it's gonna kill me.
Yeah, and even then there's like I think it's in like a following chapter where they've also got like a lawyer as well
Yeah.
that looks like Yakuza. Like
I swore that guy was gonna be the fucking boss or a captain of a Yakuza family or something. Like, it's that massive scar.
It's a scar like across the eye as well, like literally like down, like yeah.
Yeah. But then they're like, no, he's our lawyer, and they're like, oh.
But he's also taken the guy like literally into a back alley to be like, here, you can have your license back.
That is so annoying, but it's so relevant, that chapter of that streamer.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's such a problem right now, is just
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it's a really big problem.
IRL streaming and, like, problematic content creators and things.
Yeah, like not like it is like it's becoming a bigger thing in Japan, but it's also just in general the world as well. Like it is a thing. But
Yeah.
again, this is created in 2022 when I feel like it probably was an issue still, but like it's become a lot more prevalent in the past year.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably like domestic stories we're not heard about, you know.
Yeah. Oh, there's like I mean, let's face it, this has been going on for years. You can go through any like thing, and there'll be streamers that are problematic. But yeah,
That felt too real, especially because dude was saying all the things you would hear as well, you know, like,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
What? It's free publicity. I got 30,000 followers. Like, you what? It's free advertising. This is great. Yeah, go on, call the police. Anything that gets me more followers is like, oh my God, you can find handfuls of these types of people online.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just like, oh my God, why?
Yeah, like
It was painful to read because it's far too realistic. Like, I'm sure everyone's seen a video like that.
mm-hmm.
Like, of someone pulling that kind of crap. I think the only line... Wait, did he? I think the only line I might not have saw was, do you know who I am?
I don't think he did. I think he said he bragged about how many followers he had. But that is that kind of thing, yeah.
That would just be like the final line, like just the ultimate, like, do you know who I am?
Yeah.
I'm famous.
I mean, that's the one thing. I think, like, obviously, this is a tale basically just focused on how these cats run this restaurant. Obviously, they have a no photograph policy in the restaurant as well, which is why this would be such a big issue for them. And yeah, it's it's one of those things. Yeah, like it hits on those problems you probably would find in general, like food service.
Yeah.
Like these are things that like people have to deal with anyway. Even without being cats, you'd have to deal with half this shit. Like
I think that's kind of why I like this as well, is like everything that happens will just happen normally. They also just happen to be cats.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. It's not explained in 6 chapters, so
Yeah.
like, we don't know why these cats can talk and are sentient enough to serve ramen, of all things.
It's just one of those things. I think you just accept that the cats are sentient for some reason.
Yeah.
You also have to accept the fact that Tamako's grandmother used to own the ramen shop as well.
It was her auntie.
Is it auntie? Oh, is it auntie? Sorry, my bad. Yeah. Like, just used to own the ramen shop. Like, she's, oh yeah. And then they even say, like, oh, not many humans would sell a restaurant to cats.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah, it's not something that often happens. To like, obviously, like, you can imagine, like, just put it into, like, giving this like the benefit of the doubt. Let's see if it made it work or whatever. If there were sentient cats, obviously it's a big draw for this restaurant because it's cats serving ramen.
Yeah.
Like, it's a huge draw. They don't want any advertising. They just literally go for it naturally. That word of mouth.
You know what the craziest thing is? Like, the way that the internet has led me to believe things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if it could exist in real life in the same way, that'd probably be the most famous ramen shop ever because the internet would just be nuts. Like, word of mouth would be insane because everyone would be like, oh my god, there's a ramen shop run by cats.
But like it's one of those like you don't obviously like the streamer who went in there like and filmed it all.
Oh, yeah.
Like that footage would get picked up, and like even though
Oh, for sure.
like for word of mouth there'd be articles written about it, and like all that kind of stuff would be like it'd be publicity through word of mouth, but then it'd also be like, oh, go to this restaurant, it's made by like someone would get footage of it somehow. But like giving it the benefit of the doubt though, like giving it the benefit of the doubt, where like say if humanoid cats, not like this kind anyway, not the weird Nyan kind of other motherfucking
Hello, everyone.
See, there's that, or there's also fucking cat girls is what the other thing I was
Oh,
thinking.
yeah, okay.
So many different ways of saying humanoid cats. I realized that after I said it.
Yeah, I mean, what? How do you say it? Like personified? Is personified the word we're looking for? Personification?
I don't even think it's that, I think it's kind of just like cats. Like
I'm gonna say personification.
how do like, they walk on two legs and they talk.
Yeah, but if you say humanoid, you are linking more towards like cat girl anime.
It is that, yeah.
More human than cat. Like a human with cat features. Whereas I feel like if you say personification, then it's like a cat that is more like a person.
Yeah, I guess so. Let's go for that word for the moment. I feel like you're right. It might be that. I still don't think it's completely right, but I will roll with it for the moment.
I think it's the closest we'll get because we're a bit too dumb for this.
Yeah, we're also like literally going off the cuff with these words right now, and like no work good. But it's say like I don't know, most of like finances wise, this would go through the lawyer, right?
Yeah,
like he's there to actually sort. I imagine they do all their like finances in house, but it's the lawyer that is probably the communicator for him.
Sasaki is the one who deals with all the money.
Yeah,
like each cat has their own role, and Sasaki is like one of the servers, but also the cashier and the accountant.
Yeah, so he does rotas as well, from what I can assume.
Yeah, Sasaki is, I guess, like the general manager in a way.
Yes, so yeah.
Because they deal with all the like, they deal with all the like, is it logistics? I want to say logistics.
Logistics sounds about right. Yeah, that's
But yeah, like they deal with all the other stuff, whereas like everyone else literally kind of has like the single role besides Tamako, because like Bunzo is just boss cat. Like, he makes the ramen.
Yeah.
Hana is the waitress. That's, again, Sasaki also helps as a waiter, but, like, Hana is, like, the main waitress or waiter.
Yeah.
And then there's Sabu, who's head chef, explained as, like, does all the side dishes.
Yeah.
And actually, like, serves the bowl of ramen, which I feel sorry for Sabu, because, isn't it cats really are extremely like sensitive to heat, and Sabu has to like place the bowl of ramen in front of people? Like, aren't their little paws like really sensitive to heat or something?
I can imagine it is. Yeah, I can imagine that's a thing.
And like each panel you see it, he does look like he's in pain. Which I feel really bad for him.
I didn't notice that before, but it's also like I had to look at it again. I might read the 6th chapter and then go back to it.
He's like struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that is a fact I learned from somewhere. Again, it's the internet, so I probably heard it in a YouTube video or something.
It sounds about right. It sounds about right.
And then, like we said before, like Krishna is the noodle maker.
Yeah.
Makes the ramen in the back. That's it.
I'm like, and just say, would this actually work as a restaurant? Obviously, take away the fact they're all cats. I mean, no, you have to actually include the fact they're all cats because there's no other way that could.
Yeah, well, that's the USP, isn't it? That's the unique selling point.
That's one thing. So, like, I assume that all communication in terms of like health department goes through their lawyer as well.
Well, Sasaki fills out lots of the documents as well.
Yeah, he does. But I guess like he's the lawyer's the middleman, I guess.
I don't know. I think the lawyer's probably just there for advice and stuff, yeah?
I kind of feel like, yeah.
Because, like, the way I interpreted it from what I was reading was, like, yes, up until a certain point, the lawyer would take care of stuff. But, like, Sasaki's, like, fills out all the tax forms and fills out all the other forms. Like, it's all down to Sasaki. So I think... And they still go out shopping and stuff. They go out and buy things, so... I think people, they just get to a point where they meet someone who's willing to deal with them and is respectful, and then they just keep working with that one person. So this is probably a lot of assumptions on my end, but I think Sasaki probably just fills out the forms and sends it to that specific person in specific department for whatever.
Yeah.
Again, you might be right. They might just go through the lawyer, but I don't. In 6 chapters, it's not mentioned though.
Because there's got to be certain bits, right? Because obviously, it's a ramen shop run by cats, and there's only so much that cats can do in real life as well, like go to banks and stuff like that.
I mean, again, they went out and bought stuff. Like when they needed Tamako in that one chapter to go front a house to wash dishes, Sasaki went to the store to buy costumes.
Yeah. So he's established that like he's
Yeah, they go out and do stuff,
yeah.
and like they've got regulars that come back all the time and talk to them and specifically know all of the employees and stuff. So like they've got fans and stuff. So like I think in the local area they're cool to just go out and do stuff.
So with this in mind, do we think that all animals in this universe are personified in that sense? Do you think like there's also dog people, or do you think that it is literally just this situation?
I don't know, to be fair.
This is one thing I'm curious about. Like, obviously, this might get explained in the next like 67 chapters or whatever. But it's one of those ones. Like, is this just like it's established that not many people would sell a restaurant to cats? So that establishes that is possible to do so, but they're also like, that's a bit strange to sell a restaurant to a cat. But then in this universe, does this also mean that dogs are also personified in that sense? Like,
I'm not sure.
because tigers are.
Yeah, but like, is that just because by extension tigers are just big cats?
Does this also mean that all cats are like in the world? Like, do you think we'll have cat customers as well?
I don't think so. For some reason, I get the feeling that this is one of those where it's just these specific cats for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And it might not ever get explained, right? And that, to some extent, is irritating.
Yeah.
But I think it's just these specific cats
Yeah.
and probably no other animal. Until proven wrong, that's what I'm working with. That's the theory I've come up with.
This is one of those series, right, where out of all the series that we've read in terms of manga reviews, to answer the questions that I think what I have and you have, like all these kind of things, it feels like you have to read the rest of the series to actually get a grasp of what kind of situation this is. Because obviously there's a lot of content. We've only read the first 5 and 6 chapters of this. So I feel like if we were to, I mean, it's one of those things like, we'd probably need to read the whole series to get like a general grasp of what kind of.
Maybe. I mean, you know how it is.
It might even get answered. That's funny. It might just be, it is just a ramen shop with cats, and that's the only thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. Like, how many series have we read where they actually don't answer your questions and you're just supposed to be like, suspend your disbelief? This is the world. That's it. Why are you asking questions?
Oh yeah, this is just it's escapism. It's a series where it's like, look, it's an interesting concept here. I just get used to it. That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is like slice of life. I feel like it may just be like, why are you asking questions?
Yeah.
Just sit back and enjoy. Don't ask questions.
Yeah.
You don't need to know. You don't want to know. You just want to watch cats make ramen and watch this girl overcome her anxieties or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is one of those series that are just kind of like, just don't think about it.
It probably is a don't think about it series, and that's absolutely fine. You can have those kind of series. Yeah. I mean, this is one thing as well. I really enjoyed what I read as well. I want to like establish this. Like, I know 25 minutes in, I think I mentioned it a little briefly before. Because sometimes like it gets to this point in like our manga reviews where it's like we've made it clear whether we do like this or not.
Oh yeah.
And I think at this point, like I've said that I liked it, but I don't think I've made it like it's abundantly clear that I actually did really enjoy reading these chapters as well.
I think the long-time listeners, at least for me personally, I think the long-time listeners would understand that I did like this, because normally if I don't like something, I'm like, yeah, I slogged my way through chapter 1 and I didn't touch it again. Whereas I'm like, I read 6 chapters. So I feel like just based off the way I interact with media, and I've talked about it, I feel like people would be like, oh, okay, so he probably liked it because he read a few.
Yeah.
Whereas you normally, yours is a bit different, because like, normally you do try and give everything a fair shake regardless of if it was shit or not.
Yeah. I do try and play devil's advocate with a lot of it. Like, maybe it will get better if it is bad, but yeah.
Yeah, you normally try and give everything a fair shake, but So for you to say, oh, you read 5 chapters is a bit harder because I feel like you always read about 5 chapters.
I do, yeah. I try and keep it quite fair regularly.
Whereas I will definitely just be like, no, this was awful. I'm done. I'm not reading past chapter 1.
But yeah, I'm not sure if there's much else I could really say about it. I think I am curious to read more about it. The main thing that's gripping me with this right now is I think it's a really fun concept of the cats in a ramen
Yeah.
shop, and it is really fun. It's interesting to see again a story of the week kind of manga. I do really enjoy those, and it's not overly comedic either with this kind of series. I think it has its comedy moments, but it doesn't feel like it's a gag manga. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's that kind of thing.
Yeah. I would recommend it because the characters are, it's not like groundbreaking, but like the characters are realistic.
Yes.
Like these are personalities you will meet, and each person is slightly different. I think so far in 6 chapters, Hana's the one that sticks out the most, but that's because like in chapter 1, you see Hana like go from professional to what she's really like.
Yeah.
And she's one of those people that like, or sorry, cats that need to like warm up to someone. She's one of those personalities.
Yeah.
And like you see her slowly like break down the wall that she's put up over the chapters. But like I feel like the characters are fairly well written. Like Boss, you get it. He's just your typical straight up like, I'm about the ramen. That's it. I'm one of those old school personalities, you know, like the old like ramen master. This is it. I've been hustling at ramen the whole time. I make ramen. That's my life.
Yeah.
I don't care about anything else. Just want to make good food for my customers. Then you got other characters that are sort of like, I mean, like Sabu doesn't have much of a person.
Sabu and Sasuke, I feel like there are two characters that I could, if you were to just not, if I didn't have these notes in front of me, I'd get their names confused quite a bit because they're side characters,
Yeah.
but they do serve a role, but they're also just like, I could easily forget about them just because they're background a lot of the time.
Yeah, their background, and sometimes they're the same archetype in the chapter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, because like they're both basically like a boss type,
Mm-hmm.
kind manager type that's like, hey, this is what you're going to do. And thank you for working hard at what you did. We don't quite need you to do it like this. If you could try and do it like this next time, we're not, you know, it's fine. It's cool. Like, seriously, thanks for doing what you did.
Kind of like a reliable leader type in terms of like,
Yeah.
not like the, like, just gets the business done, like compared to Bunzo, who basically is just boss. Like, that's it. He's just a head.
Boss man is just like a bit straightforward.
Yeah.
You know, he's that, he is that like archetype of a character, like the older gent that is just like grizzled and hardened from lots of hard work, and he doesn't have the time to beat around the bush. He's just like, do that. But he means well.
It just falls down to, I think these characters that are in the series are very easy to come to terms with. Like you get what they're about within the first few chapters, really. And again, taking away the cat aspect of this, this is a solid, like, you can easily get a slice of life manga out of this, even if it wasn't about the cat stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you can make a small series about here's the ongoings of a ramen shop, and it would still check out. The characters are solid in this, and you could easily get through it. It's a great series, and I think the USP of it, of them being cats in a ramen shop, just like does an even better job of it.
It's what brings you in, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's funny that it's like an analogy for the store.
Yeah.
It's like the selling point is their cats, and then you're there and it's like, oh, it's also a ramen shop, right? They
That's
just
it, yeah.
happen to be cats. It's really funny that the analogy for it is also just the series.
Yeah, that's so true, yeah.
You can just take out the cat aspect and it would be a slice of life about a ramen shop.
Yeah.
But they also happen to be cats.
And that only like literally like makes it even better. Also, the art is really good in this as well. I don't think I've really.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's like the drawings of the cats are kind of like, they're cute enough to be like, it's like somewhat cutesy as well. You know what I mean? Like you read this series and they're not like, oh, like it's a really kawaii cat. It's like, no, it's somewhat, I mean, realistic in the loosest terms of the fact that they're walking on 2 legs and freaking serving ramen.
Does get some real serious, like, you know, like when Bunzo's having a go
Yeah.
at that streamer, and like I'm like, yeah, that's a pissed off cat.
Yeah.
That cat is mad.
Yeah. It conveys like emotions from the cats really well. There's a shock factor in some of those, like with their reactions and stuff like that. It's really good in terms of those like reaction faces. I think is one of the best ways like to see. Like this is one of the amazing.
Yeah. Plus Krishna is also like pretty detailed.
Yeah.
You know, like all the other cats are like block colors, except for Bunzo, who's like kind of striped. And then you've got the freaking tiger that is drawn in such detail. You're like, yeah, there's no doubt that's a tiger. That you drew just a straight up tiger, man.
I think it does just go to show that I was a bit like at the start of this episode I was like, wow, I didn't expect this to get an anime, but the more and more we've talked about it, I'm like, you know what, I can see why this has got an anime. It might not be like groundbreaking, it might not be like one of the biggest series of 2024,
Yeah.
but you can see why it's getting an anime. Like it would, you can just imagine it, like, I don't know, getting like going to like a store in Japan. There's, oh look, there's a gacha machine with all these little characters in there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can see that happening, and like, yeah,
Honestly, like, I think that this sort of, again, in a sort of a Way of the House Husband style, shorter stories, like animated and in one episode, you might go through the source material way fast like that. Depends on if you're doing like 2 of the stories or 3 of the stories in one episode. But I think this could do fairly well in an anime style just because it's quite easy and lighthearted. Yes, some things happen and they could get intense about it, you know, and there are going to be certain frames that are like just seem really out there when the rest of it is probably going to be like a nice pastels color and you're going to be like, oh, nice vibes, and then it's going to be like that hard like zoom in like saturation
lights,
and you're like,
like,
whoa, yeah. I think I'd be interested to give the anime a go when that comes out next year, just to see.
No, I'd be,
Like in my own time, probably not as an episode, but like, you know, like in my own time, just to be like, oh yeah, cool, so that's how they did it.
It's definitely a thing which I'm sure we'll both check out when it does come out.
Yeah, again, probably it might not be an episode, but we'll try and check it out. It's yeah, safe to say we both recommend this though.
Absolutely, yeah, 100% would recommend this. Like, it's an easy read. It's a good fun read.
It was so easy to read. Like, it was very, very quick. Like, before I realized it, I was already read 6 chapters. And like, I'm a slow reader, but like, I don't know. Like, I read 6 chapters in like 20 minutes.
It's one of those ones. Even though, yeah, you're right. It's like it's a 20-page manga, so it's about your average, basically. But yeah, it's just like if you just want something chill, not too strenuous, like don't need to put too much mind into it. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
I think that pretty much brings us to the end of the episode, guys. Thank you for listening. Remember to check out all of our other manga reviews, and if you have read this series, what do you think? You can tell us more about it in the comments. And remember to like, subscribe, hit that bell button for notifications when the Cultured Boy episodes come out and uploaded on YouTube. And remember to check us out on all podcast platforms. Links are in the description, as well as our X accounts as well. We're there. And we will see you next time for another Cultured Boys episode. Bye-bye.
bye.